How do you get an NGO job in Kenya? My name is Cynthia Wakio, the Communication and Events Manager at Corporate Staffing Services. And we're going to be discussing this topic with Paminas, and he's going to be giving us tips on how you can get into this field. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Being a recruiter for many, many years, why do you think NGO jobs are popular among professionals?
So, Cynthia, there was a study which was done recently, I believe 1 or 2 years back, and they were looking at the salaries and the benefits, that various employers pay. And the NGO sector came tops. So one of the reasons why NGO jobs are quite popular is because, the salary and the benefits, they are quite above the market rate. Also, you find in terms of the work environment also, most of the employees would identify. For example, many of the NGOs, they don't work on Saturday. I know some of the NGO who work, their week ends on Friday afternoon. So from Friday afternoon to the other Monday, they are off duty. So in terms of the way they treat their staff and in terms of the benefits they offer, the salary, the NGO sector, I would say it's among the best compared to the other sectors and industries.
Yeah. So leading to this question, do you get the same, or rather do you take the same approach when you're approaching NGO jobs versus other jobs?
Now, based on the fact that everyone wants to work for the NGO, that makes it quite competitive. And even here at Corporate Staffing Services, whenever we are recruiting for an NGO, you find we get so many applicants. For example, I don't know whether many professionals out there know the reality. I'll give you an example. Let's say we are recruiting for an accountant, just your general accountant. It's given that you receive between 1,200 CVs to all the way up to 2,500 CVs, especially if it's mid-level. It doesn't require a lot of experience. Now, because it's an NGO and they'll be paying a little bit more, then it goes without saying that there's more interest. So you'll find the applicants can go as high as 3,500 to even 5,000. Yeah. So the question then is, what are some of the things that you need to consider if it's an NGO job? Number one, I would say that it does help to identify with the cause, because most of the NGOs, they're not for profit making. They are championing a cause, let's say human rights, education, gender issues. So what they do, they'll go beyond your CV, beyond your qualifications, beyond your experience, and look at, has Cynthia been involved in this cause? And that's where you find people who volunteer their time, either way before, maybe when they were in campus, or even during their free time, they stand a better chance. They're more competitive than someone who's just, all they do is, all they have to show is, these are my qualifications, these are my skills. Yeah, so that's number one. Number two is in terms of qualifications, they indeed do require high qualifications. So you'll find the people, to remain competitive, it does help if you have a degree. And this degree, most of the times you'll find those who have a social science background, they stand a better chance. Yeah, unless the NGO, you are working in a field that the NGO is championing. So let's say in the medical field. So obviously if you're a doctor, or if you've done those medical, those science-based technical qualification, then you'd stand out. So also it does help if you're also able to match. The other thing is also your CV. The way you write your CV for the other sectors, jobs, it should be a bit different from the NGO and even sometimes the government. Because again, this is where you highlight beyond the technical and the soft skills. Who is Cynthia? What makes you interested, in these NGO jobs? And that's why you'll find a lot of the NGOs, they will require you to do a motivational letter, not a cover letter. And motivational letter, it goes beyond your qualification, your experience. Like what is drawing you to this position. Yeah, so if you can also be able to, even if they've not requested for a motivational letter, if you can be able to highlight in the cover letter where you're interested, then it makes a whole lot of a difference. I'll give you an example. There's a time, there's an NGO in the education space, so they were looking to hire a program manager. So this lady, she came to us for CV writing, and when we were having a discussion with her, why are you interested? So her backstory was she had also been sponsored for her education. So you see, that really resonates, because if you've just gone through the normal system, compared to someone who, okay, they were an orphan, someone came through for them. Then if the NGO is championing the same, you see there's a bit of connection. Yeah, you can be able to relate. Yeah, so, I mean, we did that for her, incorporated that in her cover letter. She didn't think it was important, but eventually that's what made her stood out, and happy to say she went through the interview process and even got, she was able to get the job.
Yes.
Yeah, so those are just a few of the pointers, I would say. And lastly, not forgetting also, when it comes to interview, again, just like the CV and the cover letter, tailor-make it. It's not so much for your education and the soft skills to stand out. About your experience, about your interest. If you have something that you believe can give you an edge, like the example I've given of that lady, please don't be shy. It's important that you bring it out to make all the difference. Yeah, I remember even there's an interview I went when I was quite young in my career. So this is a Christian-based organization. You're smiling. I've told you the story before.
Yes.
Yeah, so I go there. I didn't know that the first interview was about the Bible. Can you imagine? So for them, they were looking for fresh graduates. And so to sieve out, they just wanted to know your relationship with God. So that time it was not very strong for me. So I go there, they asked me for Bible verses. The only one I could say was the John 3:16. So they knew obvious. I'm not a good fit. And later on I understood, like, every morning they have, Bible devotion. And so you can see, for them, the Christian faith is quite strong. Yeah, so I failed in that interview. Not because I didn't have the technical skills, the soft skills, but I didn't align with who they are and their values. And they could tell, purely because of my understanding of the Bible. Yeah.
So I hope that has changed now.
That has changed. My faith is now quite strong.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you need to position yourself for an NGO job?
Like I've said, develop interest. If you can be able to volunteer your time, why not? And then also there are some short courses in there that you can pursue that can make all the difference. A good example is project management, because most of these NGOs, it's all about projects. Yeah, so project management. If you're at a senior level, I would highly recommend monitoring and evaluation. I've also seen that really add a lot of value. So soft skills can come in handy, and I'm sure you'll share the link about some of these courses that we offer here. And being NIT accredited, they will go a long way, in terms of making you competent. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Karibu, karibu.
Thank you for watching this video. Paminas has mentioned some of the short courses we offer here at Corporate Staffing, and we're going to be leaving a link to our short courses to see what suits you and how you can empower yourself. Thank you for watching. Share the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and we will see you in the next video.